Good day, sir. My name is Lanhle Shabini, and I will be explaining my part view of the POE. The first class I will explain is a message class. This is the main class because it handles everything that is related to the messages, whether it's like creating them, validating them, sending them, or storing them, and displaying them. At the top of the class, I created my variables, which is the receipts. That stores the receiver's phone number, message that stores the actual text message, the message ID which stores the unique 10 digits ID, then the message hash which stores the generated hash, the message number which stores the position of the message, then the message option which stores the user's choice whether it's send, disregard, or store message. I also created static variables, which is the total messages, which counts how many messages were sent, the sent messages which stores all the sent messages, and stored messages which stores the messages that will be written to the JSON file. I also created a reset messages method which resets everything back to default. I mainly use this for testing so that every test starts afresh. Then moving on to the constructors. The constructor takes the receipt number, message text, and the message number. As soon as the object is created, it automatically generates the message ID and message hash. Then the message ID, this method creates a random 10 digits message ID. I use math random to generate the random digits, then combine them with the message ID to make sure the ID is always 10 digits long. Then the check message ID, which is the method that checks if the message ID is valid by making sure it is 10 digits or less. Then the receipts validation. For the receipts validation, I created two methods, which is the receipt self valid, which checks if the message is 12 digits long, which checks the number if it is 12 digits long, if it starts with the South African International Code, which is the +7, and the rest are digits. Then the check receipt self returns either a success or an error message. Then the message length validation is checking if the message is 250 characters or less. The check message length returns a message saying whether it is valid or too long. If it is too long, it tells the user how many characters they exceeded by. Then the create message hash. This method creates the message hash. The first two digits of the message ID, message number, then the first and last words of the message in capital letters. For example, it will be 00:00:00 hi tonight. Then it is on the message testing. Then I clean the message by first removing the punctuation and extra spaces. Then I find the first and last word using substring index of and last index of, because the assignments was said not to use split method but to use the substring. Then the send, store, disregard. After the hash is shown, the user chooses what to do with the message, whether they send the message or disregard the message, or 3 stores the message into a JSON file. The store message, for the storing, I researched how to use a file writer where I actually manually created a JSON string using the message details and saved it into a file called the stored messages JSON. Then the print single message displays one message's full details. Print messages displays all the messages. Then the return total messages returns the number of sent messages. Then moving on to the message test.java class. So this class contains all my unit tests for the message class. So here I will be showing you how it runs, and I'll be explaining it so actually here in the message class, the setup method runs before every test. It resets all the static variables and creates a fresh message object that all tests can use. The message length test, I created both valid and invalid message length. Short messages should return message ready to send. The messages longer than 250 characters should return an error message. Then the receipt test, I tested valid and invalid phone numbers. A correct South African number passes while an incorrect one fails. Then the message hash test. For the hash test, I manually set the message ID because the real IDs are random. This allowed me to check if the generated hashes matched the expected results. Then the message ID test, I tested that the message ID is valid and that it always contains exactly send digits. Then the disregard send store test, I tested all three options, and I also tested that sends messages increases the total message count. Then printing the test, I tested the message details print in the correct format and order. Then the last class we'll be speaking about is the main class, which is the Programmingg POE.java class. This is the main class of the whole application. It includes the first part, which was part 1, which was handling the registration and the login, and also part 2, which is handling the messaging system. So the menu, we'll jump to the menu loop, where after the login, the program will display the quick chat menu inside a while loop. The loop keeps running until the user chooses option 3 to exit. So option 1, send message. When the user selects option 1, they enter how many messages they want to send. They enter the receipts number and the message text. The program validates the message ID, receipts number, and the message length. If everything is correct, the message hash is shown and the user chooses to send or disregard the message. Then option 2 and 3, while option 2 displays all the messages, then option 3 obviously is exiting the application. Then I also created an is number helper method. So this is to check if the user input is numeric before converting it into like an integer. So I'll be running the application to show you how the messaging part works and also running the test. So this is my full explanation for the part 2 of the POE. Thank you.